in this video I'll tell you the truth about what calories actually are and what they do. Now, a few years ago there was this let's call it a myth. There was a myth that calories are just calories, and what that means is a calorie of a pizza is the same as a calorie of like a chicken breast, asparagus, or steak, or something like that. Like if one was 100 calories and the other was 100 calories, the nutritional benefit is irrelevant, right? And we know now, but we even knew back then that it was the most stupid and most ridiculous thing ever. Now, if you're trying to lose weight and you're like, you know what, I don't want to diet, I don't want to cut down on I don't want to start eating healthy, and someone comes to you and they're like, oh, you don't need to do that, all calories are just the same, then just give them a slap around the head and tell them that's not true. Because just think of it like this. I'll give you an example. Say there's two people, right? Two twins, identical twins. They had the same life, same everything. One of them is trying to cut weight and the other one is also trying to cut weight, but one of them does this calorie restriction, right, which they both need to do. But one of them does it in a healthy way. They eat healthier food, they eat real food, and the other one eats like they both hit their protein goal, but one of them also eats takeaway. That's actually the only thing they eat. One of them eats. They get their protein in from like burgers, from pizza, from protein bars, the nonsense protein bars full of like sweets and sweeteners and artificial ingredients. But one of them is eating very healthy. They're eating real food, they're eating steaks, they're eating chicken breast, they're eating vegetables, they're eating basically everything that you should be eating as a healthy individual. What do you think is going to happen after 3 or 4 months of dieting? They'll both lose weight, don't get me wrong, they'll both lose weight, but one of them will just feel so much more better, will look so much more better, will be so much more healthier than the other one, the one who's cut weight by eating pizza, by eating takeaway. The calorie, just a calorie, is a very, very, it's like a Trojan horse. It will get you to lose some weight, but the damage it does on the weight is very, very hard, and oftentimes it will be a little bit irreversible because it will mess up your hormones, it'll mess up your skin. And if you're eating takeaway, the amount of seed oils you're consuming, the amount of not poisonous but like utter rubbish that you're eating and is going in your body might do irreversible damage, because your arteries will probably be clogged, your cholesterol will be unbelievably high, you'll probably have some kind of breathing issues, your heart might be a bit messed up, but you dropped a few pounds, right? You dropped a few pounds. That's the way of thinking of some people, and it's a very, very horrible outlook and a way to view food, because food should be viewed as fuel. Like, but don't get me wrong, if you're someone like Ismail, I want to have takeaway and whatnot, and if I can still eat what I want to eat and still lose weight, then that's amazing. But what I'm saying is you can still eat what you're eating right now, but you have to make a few tweaks. And you also have to reduce your calories by somewhat or increase your activity. So when I mean eating healthy, you don't have to eat like loads of salads every single day and things of that nature. The only thing you need to do is, and the only thing you should be doing, is eating real food. Now, what do I mean by real food? A potato, that's a real food. The only ingredient in a potato is a potato. When you see a chicken, the only thing in the chicken is the chicken. Obviously, you have to have a healthy chicken. You don't want like a Bimar chicken. Steak, you want to have like grass-fed steaks. You don't want to, when you're eating an animal, you want to make sure the animal is healthy as well. I say you want to make sure, but try and get like your meat from a good reputable place. You don't want to get it from some like backstreet butcher where the chicken, the chicken is not healthy. Because if you're eating something, the chicken is ill, the chicken is like got some kind of liver issue or something, and you're consuming the meat of that chicken, then of course you're not going to get the full nutritional benefit which you could have if your chicken was healthy and it was walking around, it was a free range chicken and things of that nature. So you want to eat real food, you want to get your protein in. Now, what I mean by getting your protein in is there's two ways you can go about doing it. You can either get 1 gram per centimeter in height. So if you're 180 centimeters in height, then 180 grams of protein. Or you can aim for 0.81 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, then aim for 200 grams of protein. Now, me personally, I prefer the height one, simply because of the fact that you can standardize all your meals. You can pretty much meal prep for the rest of your life. You know how much you need to eat, how many calories you need to eat, how much protein you need to eat. If you're on a bulk, if you're on a cut, you'll still be eating the same amount of protein, which for the most part you'll be eating the same meals too, but you'll probably have to not think about it as much, because you only have to cut out a little bit of something, right? So if you eat like on a normal day, you have a little bit of like dark chocolate and you have some Greek yogurt and honey, then maybe if you're cutting, then you'll have less dark chocolate, you'll have less honey. But if you're someone who's doing the 1 gram per pound of body weight, as you lose weight or as you gain weight, then your protein needs change as well, which I'm not really a big fan of. I like knowing how much I need to eat, how much I can eat basically for the rest of my life, because I don't think I'm going to grow in height anymore. And for any of you who's past the age of like 22, 23, the odds are you're not going to grow anymore too. In terms of carbohydrates and things, get your carbohydrates from a healthy source, like sweet potatoes, even normal potatoes. Rice is alright. Don't have too many carbohydrates, because sometimes carbohydrates can bloat. And if you're not using your carbohydrates, the likelihood is that you will probably bloat, and possibly you could retain a bit of water as well. Obviously, because you're bloating, you're going to retain a bit of water, but you could put on a bit of weight. But as long as you're within your calorie allowance, then you'll be absolutely fine. Don't be getting in your carbs from fried things. Don't be eating fried things. Of course, don't be eating seed oil. Don't be eating takeaways. Don't be eating sugar too much. If you're eating fruit and it has sugar, then it's fine, because that's real food. As I said before, you want to eat real fruit, real food. Fruit is real. Vegetables are real. There's no vegetables is real. I was going to say something a bit controversial, but I'm experimenting with that at the moment, so I'll just keep it on. I'll just pour some cold water on that. And make sure with oils as well, you track how much oil you're consuming, because a little bit of oil can have a lot of calories. And with that, and if the oil is unhealthy, then your hormones will be messed up. And what happens when your hormones is messed up, you'll start looking softer, you'll start looking puffier, you'll probably have some kind of like man boobs, which pretty much not every single, but like 90% of brown guys have, just because of the fact that what we're eating has a lot of oil in it. And say you consume it every now and then it's fine. But a lot of brown people, a lot of guys I know, they're having their mum's cooking, and what their mum's cooking is cultural dishes. Now, if you're eating your mum's cultural dishes, traditional dishes, and you're eating, say, 2 meals a day, you're pretty much eating 2 portions of seed oil every single day for around 20, 30, well, whenever you decide to stop. So some people might not even decide to stop. They might be just, from the second they're allowed to eat solid food, they're eating seed oil all the way until they're dead. And it's very, very bad. It's very, very bad. The only thing you can do, there's a couple of things you can do, but the simplest and most easiest way is simply change what you're eating to ghee. Ghee is so good for you. It is good for you, but it's so much better than seed oil as well. Like if you're eating butter and you switch to ghee, of course, you're still consuming a healthy oil. But if you're going from sunflower oil, safflower oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, things like horrible oils, and then you make the switch to ghee, then your body's like, oh, what the hell, what's going on, right? We're getting serious nutrition. So yeah, make the switch to that. There's other things too. There's olive oil, there's ghee, there's coconut oil, there's avocado oil, there's tallow. So a calorie is just a calorie. Don't ever believe in that, and don't ever get sucked up into believing that, because it's like the dichotomy of the woman in the red dress, because it's a distraction. Because what happens is, when you're eating the fried food and the unhealthy food, you're consuming something called MSG. And what MSG is, it's a flavor enhancer. So you probably notice when you get takeaway, and the reason you love getting food, you love getting takeout, you're like, this food tastes amazing. But the thing is, those are chemicals on your tongue making the food taste better than it is. And another thing is, I just remember this, with seed oils, they add deodorizers to seed oil to mask the actual smell of the oil, because if the deodorizers were not in the seed oil, then the seed oil would stink, because it's already rancid, it's already oxidized. And yeah, I just hate seed oils. I just try and hate on them as much as possible. But yeah, don't fall into the trap of calories are just calories. Eat real food, eat healthy food. Make sure you get your protein in. Make sure you're training aesthetically, which I've got a program in my school community. It's free to join anyway, so click on that. And I think that's it, boys. Don't fall for the calories, just a calorie. And if anyone tells you that, I told you in the beginning of the video, just give them a little slap. And yeah, that's the truth of it, boys.